welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Hillary Jubilee. I make videos on conscious creation and manifestation. If you see the tree moving, it is because my kitten will not stop being crazy. And you'll probably see him peep out. Oh my God. Anyways, please hit the subscribe button and the like button down below, and let's get right into the video. Today's video is going to be about Everyone Is You Pushed Out. Everyone Is You Pushed Out is part of Neville Goddard's teachings. He says the whole vast world is you pushed out. What this really means is everyone and everything in your experience is actually you. The world and everything in it is just a mirror of you and your assumptions. You are the only one in your reality. You are the God or the source or the universe or the operant power of your reality. And I know when some people hear the word God, they might recoil or cringe at that word, depending on your upbringing and how you view that word. Personally, I am not religious. My grandma was a pastor, so I did grow up going to church sometimes, but my mom wasn't religious, so I grew up more spiritual than religious. But when I say the word God, I don't mean, it's gonna mean whatever it means to you. If you don't like the word God, that's fine. You don't need to use it. You can use universe, source, insert whatever word you use for oneness here. So when you hear me say God, you can just replace it with whatever if it bothers you to hear the word God. But essentially, you are the God of your reality. You are the operant power. And when I say you're the God of your reality, so what I believe is there are infinite multiple realities, and we all create from our respective realities. Each and every time you make a choice, you're shifting from one reality to the next. It's never fixed, it's always moving. So with Everyone Is You Pushed Out, it's been described as every other person than you in your reality. They've been described as puppets, robots, or vessels. And I personally don't like any of those descriptions. I prefer to think of it as they are just all you, or we are all connected. Everyone and everything is just mirroring back to you your thoughts and assumptions about anything. Because everyone is you pushed out, when you start to use conscious creation and this knowledge to your benefit and manifest your desires, circumstances do not matter. Doesn't matter where you're standing, you can get to your desire from any circumstances. Your current circumstances are not holding you back from getting to where you want to go. People and things will move to get you what you want. They will move. That's why when you start to affirm something, a desire, if you start to affirm a desire, or if you want people to see you as a different way, when you start affirming that, either your self-concept, if you're trying to change how people look at you, or if you're just trying to attract a person or a certain item or thing into your life, if you start affirming that you already have it, people will start to move behind the scenes. You might not always see it, but the universe is moving. That's why everyone is you pushed out. When you start to affirm what you want, everything will start to move to bring you what you want. So an example of everyone is you pushed out, a sort of negative example is, let's say that you've got a friend who's always late. So you've got an assumption that that person is always late. Oh, you complain to your friends, oh, of course she's always late. Of course, that's just, that person, they're always late. And the more you say it and you're affirming it to other people and you're complaining about it and you're annoyed when it keeps showing up, oh, she's always late, he's always late. They will continue to carry out that assumption until you change that assumption about them. You want to stop reacting to things that you don't like. So in the late example, if they're late, another thing that Neville talks about is revision. I mean, that's a whole different video, but you can revise and say, they're always on time. This person is always on time. I love how they're always on time. You can just repeat that to yourself, even regardless of what shows up in your 3D reality. You can start to shift the way people act around you because they're you pushed out. You can start to shift the way that other people are showing up in your reality by not reacting to something that you don't like and changing the story about how they show up. And if you persist in the new story and you drop the old one, they will conform to that new story. So there's a really amazing podcast and website called I Am Love. So the podcast is called I Am Love, and I highly recommend checking that out because every single episode has so many treasures of information in there they don't post as often as I would like. I think it's less than once a month, but they're longer episodes and they are very valuable. I really recommend listening to that because it kind of explains the premise of, well, they explain the premise of Everyone Is You Pushed Out, and they explain the premise of you being God of your reality, and they go into depth about all of that stuff. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, I definitely recommend listening to every single one of those episodes. They're all really, really good. And then they've also got a website called iam-love.co, and I'll link these down below. But there's an article on that website by Kristen Jackson about Everyone Is You Pushed Out, and she does an amazing job of explaining that the world is your mirror. She kind of explains in her article that once you really accept and understand that the world is just a mirror, you won't feel the need to react to things that you dislike anymore, because you'll realize that it's just reflecting something within you. And it's easier to detach yourself from your reality, your 3D reality, when you can see that it's just a mirror and it's all you. So what is there to get mad at? It's just, you're getting mad at yourself. She says in the article, there is nothing more simple and more clear than a mirror. And that's it. It's so simple. It's about, she talks about going within. You wouldn't, once you realize and accept that the world is your mirror, you would only ever go within to change anything without. So with Everyone Is You Pushed Out, there is no separation. Everything that you see with your eyes, hear with your ears, etc., anything that you're experiencing with your senses is an illusion, and it's a reflection of yourself, including your body. So really what it is, it's everything, everyone, including your own body, everything outside of your imagination is a reflection of your consciousness. So not everyone and everything is a reflection of you as in human you. Everything and everyone is you pushed out as in you, your consciousness pushed out. So that includes your body. So your body is also something that is you pushed out, your consciousness pushed out. I hope that makes sense. So you can test this in a number of ways. So I'm gonna give a couple of small examples that I tested it with, and it can seem easier at first to test it with smaller things, and I put that in quotations because nothing is smaller or larger. It's just what we perceive to be smaller or larger. For example, we might think manifesting a lot of money is something large and a cup of coffee is something small. However, in reality, nothing is larger or smaller than anything else. It's just what we perceive it to be. So I'll give a couple examples of how I tested this on a few different small things when I was just starting out. So the first was, I was working on my self-concept, and I was saying to myself, I have a tiny waist. I look small. I look small. I have a tiny waist. I would just repeat that to myself. And just to throw in here with affirmations, you can write them down, you can say them in your head, or you can actually record your own voice and listen to it. And I do all three, but mostly I just do it in my head, but you can do all three. So I write them down here and there whenever I feel inspired to write something down, then I'll write them down. And then there's an app called Think Up, which you can record your own voice and listen to your affirmations in a loop, and there's different music and sounds you can put in the background, and you can do that when you sleep, or you can just do it while you're multitasking or whatever. But anyways, so I was affirming things like things to do with my body and how my body looked, specifically that I had a tiny waist. And keep in mind, this is not something I've ever heard anyone say to me. Nobody has ever told me that I have a small waist before. And after affirming that, listening to it and writing it down and saying it in my head, whenever the thought would come up about my physical appearance, I would just pop that in. Like, that's going to replace anything that I see in the mirror or anything physical that I see. I'm saying that I look small and I have a tiny waist. So after affirming that for maybe a couple weeks, it was reflected back to me by a few people. More than one person said I look tiny or I have a small waist. And then a couple of other things I tested it on. I just, random things that just popped into my head were cotton candy and a bunny. So two random things. I was like, I want to see cotton candy and I want to see a bunny. And I'll know it was me who created these things because I don't often see cotton candy or bunnies. So the first one that popped up was the bunny. So I was going for a run in my neighborhood and I saw a little lawn ornament, which was a bunny. And I was like, no, it's not close enough. I want a real bunny. I was like, that's nice. And that's what we call birds before land. So when you're trying to manifest or create something, you'll see things popping up that are signs or not quite your manifestation, but they are hinting at or kind of close to your manifestation, but it's not the full manifestation. That's called birds before land. And I can make a separate video on that, but essentially that's what that is. So anyways, I saw the lawn ornament on someone's lawn that had a little bunny, and I just kept affirming, and I just said to myself, no, I'm gonna see a real bunny. And then I can't remember if it was the same run or if it was a few days later, but I did see a bunny on a path that I was running in, kind of a field by my house, and there was a bunny on the path, so I did end up seeing the bunny. And then with the cotton candy, it was pretty funny. It was the same thing. I had the signs first. I just wrote down like I want to see cotton candy, and I was scrolling through my Instagram stories, and somebody posted on their Instagram story pancakes with cotton candy on top. And I've never seen that before. Like, who puts cotton candy on pancakes? Anyways, well, they said they called it candy floss, but you know, it's cotton candy. But yeah, so I saw it on the Instagram story, and then I was going for a drive with a friend, and we saw a kind of food truck thing, and it had those shelves, you know, when people hang things on shelves. It was like that. It was like a bunch of cotton candy was hanging on this, what's the word for that? I don't know, but cotton candy was hanging on kind of like a circular, I don't think shelf is the right word. I don't know the word, but you get it. I saw a real cotton candy driving by. We didn't stop and get any, but my manifestation was there. I've never seen that truck before in my life, and it just popped up right where I was driving. And then two more things that I affirmed, or two more things that I intended for. I wanted to get certain people to wear certain colors, so I would write down in a notebook. So I intended that my friend Andrew wear red, and I associated one word and one color with the people. So in my example with my friend Andrew, I intended that he wear red, and I just intended the word kite. So either he's gonna say it or we're gonna see it. So we had plans, and we went for a walk along the ocean, and he showed up wearing a maroon shirt. Close enough, you know, maroon, red, pretty close. And then as we were walking down along the water, somebody was carrying a kite. So both my manifestations came to do with him. So I wanted it to be him, the color, and the kite. And we got all of those together on the same day. So like I said, it can seem easier to test the manifestation or testing everyone as you pushed out on smaller things rather than larger things, because you'll be less attached to them and you'll have a little bit less resistance. A common one to try first is a cup of coffee, or if you're like me and you don't drink coffee, or a cup of tea, whatever you drink. A beverage, if you want to manifest a beverage, that's a common place to start. You can just say, I intend I receive a free cup of coffee, or you can write it down. Or you can say, I am so happy I got my free coffee. Or you can even visualize holding the coffee you want. So go ahead and try it on something smaller first and let me know how it goes. That's all I have for you today on Everyone Is You Pushed Out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, Bambi. Is this gonna be a whole video or good times? Gonna move on. Great. Are you well? We each create from inside our own. Oh, Bambi boy. Damn, dude. You gonna do this the whole time? Say hello. Oh, God. So I tried it with a couple smaller things. Oh, he's at the top. Bambi. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, so moving on. Bambi. Good Lord. What are you doing? Crazy? Oh God. What are you doing? Bambi. What are you doing? You're crazy. Anywho, hopefully that didn't ruin my angle. Whatever. Okay, are you done? No. Oh my God. Stop. No. No. Stop it. Oh my God. And the path. Oh my God, the freaking cat.